this ride started. So obviously when wheeling, you want to let her warm up for a little bit, probably ride around for a few minutes. Cold start and trying to wheelie does not combine. It just bogs out and then you can't pull up or do anything. So I'm going to ride her up the hill, go to the spot, and by then it should be warmed up. And this is from what I know. This is not everything. This is just what I know, my knowledge of how to do it and what I do to do it. There's clutch up, where you get into a certain gear that you feel comfortable with trying to do it, and then you rev it and you release the clutch. You use that friction zone to pull yourself up. The other one is clutchless, and it's just a power up. You just hit the throttle and you go up with it. For me, I feel like throttle and no clutch is like easier and like less sketchy to me. So what I'm going to be teaching today is not clutch up, because I haven't really attempted that yet. I mostly do throttle up. Okay, so the next part. So you know which one you want to do. You're going to think either you want to do clutchless or with clutch. I'm going to turn this engine down here. Next part is seating placement. Your balance, where you want to be at when you do it. The further back you are on the bike, the easier it is to pull up the whole front end. The weight is on the back, you'll have more weight on the back. Or the further up you are, the harder it's going to be to pull up. Now, this also puts into play of what type of engine you have. The bigger the engine, and my theory is, the bigger the engine, the easier it's going to be to do the wheelie. So if you have like a dual sport that's a 400, you'll be able to pop the thing like no other. This one, being a 250, is a little bit harder. I got a buddy who's got a 300, and in his first gear, if he tries to pop it with clutchless or anything, he will overflip. So his second gear, he's trying to do it with second gear. It kind of happens every so often. And let's go into what a wheelie is. Is it just popping it up for a second, or is it holding it? What my description of it is, a wheelie is holding it and going for as long as you can. A power up is just wheeling up and then coming back down, just going down. So we're going to kind of go over both. And first one, I'll just do a power up. You pay attention to my hands. I'll probably put a slow-mo on there just to kind of go for it, show that I'm not using the clutch. And what I do is I kind of put my body weight into it. I will slightly stand up a little bit, kind of get some height, push down on the bike, compressing all the shocks and everything, and then I'll pull up as I throttle. When I pull up and when I throttle, it's going to push the front up, and with the shocks decompressing, the whole thing just comes up. So that's how I do it. I can try and do it without doing that, but I don't know how well it works. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now this bike, I got some fans over there. They're clapping. You want to do this on a slight uphill, and I suggest watching this video before you ever go out and try it, because I will kind of forget some things throughout it and then say it later on. This was a slight uphill. I'm going downhill now. I'll try it again. Those kids are on their bikes and they're just applauding for me. Oh, that was a bad one. See, I didn't go through the steps on that. I'm going to say it's 1, 2, 3 steps. First step is going up. Second one is being fully compressed. Third one is pulling up and throttling. So I'm going to try it again. So step 1 being up, 2, 3. Now, here's the bad part about my bike. When I was adjusting my wheel, I think my wheel is adjusted wrong. So when I go up, I'm always leaning to the right. I think it's just my wheel is misaligned a little bit. So I might go home and true that up. I think it's just when I was tightening down the chain and stuff and putting on my new swing arm, it is misaligned. But that is the basics there. I don't think I'm going to try clutchless yet. I'm just showing you how to do it. Or I don't think I'm going to try and do it with clutch. I'm just going to show you clutchless. So right now, I'm a little bit far back on the seat. Like you see this gap here. Usually I ride up close right here, nice and close up to it, but I'm giving myself a little bit back. I'm a little bit further back. I'm not completely on the back seat yet, but I'm kind of like in between there, just kind of get my weight back. And so first one is kind of get up a little bit, compress, and pull up. And you just got to have a lot of focus with your weight, with your balance and everything. So here we go again. See, that one was a lot better. I focused on my balance, I focused on everything. I think you guys kind of get the idea of it. You want to have low revs, you want to have a little bit of an uphill for your beginner time. If you get used to it, you can do more straightaway, even downhill. But I will go home and I'll show you why you want to do it on an uphill, just in case people don't understand why. So you want to do this in a safe environment. I do not condone in the middle of the street with cars all around, pedestrians. Make sure you're in an open place with nobody around. Make sure it's safe, in a safe environment, and you're only putting yourself in danger because this is dangerous. Cutting it close there. Alrighty. So scenario uphill. So we're gonna do a slight uphill. Maybe about like that. That's probably a little bit more than what you really need, but you kind of get it. Just a slight uphill. So gravity is still pushing. Okay, that's kind of slightly down. Gravity is pushing down still. So your bike, let's put one up here. So this is when you're on the ground going up. That's just going to represent the bike for now. Got the little person with the handlebar. Okay, you get a terrible bike drawing, but you'll still get it. Bike is flat still, but when you go up, the wheelie right here, when your person is right here, you only have, say, 20 to 30 degrees of going up because your gravity is up right here. So you only have to push up that 20 to 30 degrees. Now if you're straight away and gravity is still going down and your bike is here, and let's say this one is the same degrees up like this, and you're right here, this amount of degrees is obviously bigger than this one. So let's say that's probably about 45 to 50 degrees. I don't know the actual degrees, but you kind of get the idea. So now you need more torque range to pull yourself up to that 45 degree, 50 degree up more. So you see the difference there. And now when you're holding yourself up there, it's a lot harder to pull yourself up to. That's why I say uphill is a little bit more beginner. You got more, you don't have to pull up as hard to get to that area. This one you have to pull up a lot harder. Downhill, you got here, gravity's still going down, of course, and now your bike wheelie point is still the same because gravity there. Now you got almost a 90-degree angle of having to do that because that's how that works. So you have to have a lot more pull-up range going downhill. So it's a lot easier going uphill than downhill.